I'm Caitlin Murphy, and these are my trip highlights from Costa Rica. The first day, we stopped at a small coffee plantation. It was really pretty. There was lots of flowers, and it was just really well kept. The paths were all neat, and it was a really cool place. Then we went to La Paz Volcano and Lake. That was really eerie because you should be able to look off and see the volcano, but it was all white because it was so humid. But that was also very beautiful, greenery everywhere, just very scenic. Then we went to La Paz Waterfall and Pavilions. I think my favorite part on that one was the hummingbirds and the waterfalls. Um, Lots of stairs for the waterfalls, but it was really cool, very beautiful. Everything's really humid there too. Then we went to La Selva, and I realized I should have packed a lot lighter because carrying all that stuff up there was pretty fun. But being all sweaty and gross makes it all the better to take a cold shower. Makes it more doable. Overall, everything you just notice how much greener everything is there. It's just a beautiful place. Day two, we started with a tour of La Selva. We saw lots of animals and plants. It was just a wonderful tour. Everybody is very knowledgeable there. The guides are very connected to the land. You can just tell how much everybody loves the area and cherishes everything there. Um, then we had a quick meeting, and the director pressed on us the importance of fighting to protect and preserve the resources that we all use and study. After our meeting, we went to Puerto Viejo, and we discussed how important the river is and how connected the people are through their river. Um, we also, while we were there, stopped at a grocery store, and it was amazing how similar it is to ours. Day three was definitely my favorite day, but I think it was also the most tired I've ever been. We took a boat tour from about 8 to 11 in the morning, and we saw lots of birds and learned a bit about the plants too. We saw an otter, which was awesome. Tons of turkey vultures. Then we went to a different river, and we went water rafting. That was a lot of fun. Though it kept pouring for maybe like the last 40 minutes of the rafting, and it was a little hard to stay warm even though the rain wasn't cold. Then it was still raining, and we went on our night hike, but our nature walk, but it was a little hard to see anything. They said usually mammals aren't out when it's raining, but we did see some cool frogs and spiders, and it's amazing how in tune the guides are. They're great stewards of the land. They they just know everything so well about that area. This is before we went rafting. This is also rafting, and then this was the night nature hike. D4 began with a 9 a.m. discussion by the La Selva director. He's a brilliant man. I was surprised that as he discussed, temperature goes up and tree growth and CO2 absorption goes down, which is quite scary for the road we're on. Our next stop on the way to La Fortuna was a stop at John Carlos and John Carlos Jr.'s farm. They sustainably raise milk cows for mozzarella cheese and other dairy products. They're very resourceful and in tune with their land and animals. They use the methane that they get from their animals for energy to power their farm. They invited us for dinner at their restaurant, and that was a very good time. The nature hike at the National Park by Skywalk was very informative. We saw two different vipers and all kinds of other plants and animals, and we spent a lot of time discussing the plants and trees. They also had a butterfly pavilion, and that was neat. The zip line was amazing. I was a bit stressed at first, and in the end, I was very glad that I went through with it. The views are unmatched by anything. You can just look around and see as far sometimes as you could imagine, and other times there's the lake there or just trees. It's very beautiful. Then later on, we went to the city, La Fortuna, and it was a really neat little square. They had music playing, and at the restaurant we ate at, I think, was the best food that we had yet. And it was fun to walk around the city, just see something different. On our drive to Brasilito, the first place we stopped on the way was very unique. They had great coffee, and the flooring was macadamia nuts. They grow in there. Then, while we were there, we had a discussion of the hydroelectric plant and energy production that you could see from there. Then, on continuing on our way to Brasilito, once we got there, we had a swim in the ocean. It was beautiful. Never swam in the ocean before, so it was really neat. Snorkeling was definitely my favorite part of this day. We also got to go on the little boat, on tugged by the boat on the way back. When we were snorkeling, we saw sea cucumbers, lots of different kinds of fish, a starfish that was really cool because it was purple and pink. Definitely didn't expect that. And we also saw an eel. To start the day, we visited the Clear Beach and we had a nice discussion about mangroves, and we saw some mangroves there and talked about what an important ecosystem they are. I was also really struck by Raphael's mention that we don't often turn around at the beach to look what's behind us. The nicer beach has big hotels behind it, and the not so pretty beach houses the local people. It really doesn't seem fair how society displaces value, things such as beauty. People with money have way too much influence in that area. We went to the nicer beach, we went to the turtle nesting beach, and that was just really cool to see where that all happens. And there's such an interesting species. It was just nice to see. Very informative. We started this day off right with the last swim in the ocean at the nicer beach. We left around noon for Hancha. I was amazed when we arrived. Definitely the most rustic place we had been yet, and the bugs were just crazy. Even in our room, like spiders, ticks, mosquitoes, everything. And the howler monkeys are really prevalent here. Even when we first arrived, they almost like follow you in the trees. They're really cool. Um, we tried to go for a walk, but because of all the rains, the trails were really slick, and we didn't end up going far. I was surprised the rain in the showers was so cold. I would be interested to hear if it's an aquifer or how they get it so cold when the temperature is so hot. And definitely being in such dense jungle, it's amazing how humid it is at this place. This is the boys' room upstairs. It's pretty crazy. Heading to the caves, I was a little panicked. I'm sort of afraid of heights and a little claustrophobic, so going 60 feet down to a small place wasn't really my idea of a good time. And also, the hike up was treacherous. It was amazing. I felt ready to go back a few times, but I was so glad that I finished. Um, Too bad the group in front of us was so slow because the full tour would have been kind of cool after going through all the work to get down there. But it was still neat just to see all the work in there. I was glad that they roped us off because the ladder was kind of slick and it was pretty scary. But um, I was also surprised at how moist the cave was, and it was actually pretty warm. I thought it would be cooler down there. We went back down starving, I think, from all the energy from hiking. The trail was pretty straight up, so we expended a lot of energy, and we had a little party of sorts that night. It was fun. It was a good day. We also, on the hike up, we discussed medical plants with our guide. Then we went back to Hancha. Day 10, we drove to San Jose. The views were gorgeous on the way, and once we got there, we settled into the hotel and got lunch. Then we did a little shopping. It was nice to have actual walls on our room. No fear of bugs at this place. And then dinner was good. We went and got Italian. Day 11, our final day, we went to the museum, and they were displaying beautiful pictures that the director from La Selva had taken, and I was surprised to see that for some reason, but he's a great photographer. They also had paintings from an artist that was really real to life, and that was wonderful. Then we did more shopping and packing, and finally we had our departure dinner with two professors from the university there. It was a great last evening, and we went to bed pretty early because Ernan came and got us at 3:30 for our drive back to the airport, and that was everything.